Hey everyone, how you doing? I'm here doing a little countdown with my friends here, and we're just gonna talk about the new video a little bit and talk some shit about current events and all that good stuff. Hey everyone, how you doing? Okay, I can hear myself doing now. A little countdown. Who's echoing? My friends here, and we're just gonna talk about the new video
my
a little
mic
bit
was muted.
and talk some shit
So was
about
mine.
current events. Here we go. It is. I had two fucking live windows open. Sorry about that. Always something. Always something. Anyway, yeah, I'm here with Magog as always. My bestest friend on the entire planet. You happy now?
You're damn right I am.
And also joining me today is Discordia, the creative genius behind my Discord server. How you doing?
I'm not sure I'd go that far, but thanks for having me.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, first of all, I just wanted to hang out a little while with you guys. I'm uploading a video right after this stream is over, so we'll go for I don't know an hour and a half, and then we'll just upload the video, and then we'll probably continue on Magog's channel after that.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to you.
I don't have a life, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's good. It's just
Exactly. So
my whole life has just become the internet. That's it.
yeah. Well,
You too, huh?
Yeah, you too. Well, you're full time, so there's that. You're not full time. You're going to school, right? Discordia.
Yes, but it's currently summer, so my life is just Discord at the moment.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Hence the name.
Hence the fucking name.
Actually,
Silly
no,
me.
I had the name before Discord even existed. They stole it.
Really? And then you became the Discord god.
That was
Yes.
kismet.
Yeah,
That's
that
all
was
that
just
was.
meant to be, right?
The god of Discord. Goddess of Discord.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't
it's
wanna
gender
assume your
neutral.
pronouns.
Everything's gender neutral now. So what the fuck, right? Yeah,
It's my pronouns are God, Goddess, and God Self.
that makes sense. I prefer sir.
I-
Sorry, yes, sir.
I identify as that, as in that is my dark overlord, Magog.
That which cannot be
That's
named.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's what kind of current events are we interested in this week?
Well, I mean, everybody's obsessed with E3, but me personally, I've been a little bit more concerned with what's happening with YouTube ever since the Vox Steven Crowder thing, personally.
Right.
Same.
You know, that's been a crazy shithole, and a lot of people are ignoring it this week because, oh my god, E3, brr, brr, brr.
Of course. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't really watched much of it. I just saw Keanu Reeves do his thing, and
I really don't know how it's possible to have such a large circle jerk of gamers when they all have controllers in their hands. Like, how do they
How do they
pleasure
jack
the
off?
person next to how do they pleasure the person sitting next to them? I have no idea, but they pull it off at E3.
Yeah.
Definitely. You know. it's also what gay LGBT gay pride month or whatever, you know.
Oh yeah. It feels like it is that every other month now. It's just, I don't know. It felt like we just had that, but I guess it's been a year. It's weird.
You know what the funniest story of the week is the straight pride parade.
Yeah.
Yes, I heard about that.
And the reason it's the funniest story is because at first they wanted like their grand marshal of the parade to be like Brad Pitt because he's done all these like, you know, masculine roles in movies and stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he's dated some of the most beautiful women in the world and shit like that. So of course Brad Pitt got on social media and was like, "Fuck the straight pride parade," you know, I completely condemn it, and you know, hashtag LGBT and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
and so who did they get to be their grand marshal? Milo Yiannopoulos. Like that is
The trolling is now complete.
Oh yeah, man. That
To
is
be
some-
honest, that's just the perfect prison. I couldn't have picked anyone better.
I honestly couldn't either.
I guess everything goes now.
The shit he says now that he's like, I'm honored to be the Grand Marshal of the Straight Pride Parade, and like I'm honored to be a representative of God's natural sexuality. And he said in a tweet, he said, "We're here, not queer." I laughed my fucking ass off, dude. Oh, this is like a next level troll because they're all taking the bait, aren't they? All the mainstream media outlets, all the celebrities, they're all like,
yeah.
"Man, straight pride straight pride parade is just an attack on the gay pride," and it's like,
Yeah, and in the meantime, the animal fuckers are going crazy on Twitter saying that they've been included in the LGBT thingy and all that. Seen that?
oh yeah,
So-
they're like the LGBT, like, man, the gay pride parade, the gay pride month has just become more about hating everybody else.
Yeah, it should be the hate parade.
Yeah, like it really has been. It's just been like, let's hate straight people instead of let's be proud of the gay people who fought for our rights.
Yeah,
all
but
this-
if you're going to include
know.
the Sewell files, like, come on.
well, it's not even that. I read a story where they kicked out some people who had like the rainbow flag that had like the Star of David on it, but they were okay with like the Pakistan flag that was rainbowed. So it's
Why?
like now they're anti-Semitic too. Like they're not going to stand with Israel. Of course, they're not going to let people who stand with Israel in their pride parade. Are you kidding me?
No, we're not. We're inclusive, but not that inclusive, I guess. They're like
Yeah.
Apparently
exclusive.
they're not. That what's his name? Carlos Maza. He tweeted that gay pride was for gay socialists. Like that's what it's for.
Gay socialist. Okay. Well, I mean,
Gay
I'm
socialists.
all for it. Just make it more exclusive. Why not? just make it for
And then
gay
you-
socialists. Fine.
And then you see all these videos of like 12-year-old children wearing booty shorts, fucking dancing in the streets and shaking their fucking little dicks and shit. And you're just like, there is a reason why people don't like you people anymore. Like, you guys are doing this to yourselves.
No, yeah, like nobody has a problem with your sexuality or your fucking marrying each other or whatever. Do whatever the fuck you want. It's called freedom.
Right.
But leave the animals and the kids out for Christ's sake.
Yeah, can we have like a line somewhere, please? Like, and then you see the one video of them all like dancing on top of a police car, and the police just do nothing. They're just like, whatever. They're like smashing into the police car and jumping on its roof, and and then people are retweeting that video, and they're like, this is how we celebrate, gay pride. We're here, and we're queer, and we're here to stay, and it's just like, you guys are destroying property and allowing children to dance half naked in the streets. There's
Yeah, I was reading the comments on that, and they were like, this is inappropriate, and they're going, well, yeah, the police being there in the first place is inappropriate. They're our oppressors.
That's their big problem. Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
they're destroying the police car and they're sexualizing kids, and someone says that's inappropriate. Oh yeah, the police are inappropriate. They shouldn't be here. Why?
Yeah.
This is the upside down.
Yeah, it's fucking honk honk. It's clown world.
Yeah.
We're fucking, like, I don't get it. Like, veterans, including those who survived World War II and actually fought real Nazis, not the Nazis these people think are Nazis, right? Like, these people think just every conservative is a Nazi, but I'm talking about real Nazis. They get 1 day, Memorial Day. They get 1 day. Gay people get a whole month.
Right.
Like, this bothers me a little bit, I get that there's been oppression of gay people and trans people throughout history. There's been oppression of all peoples throughout history. But everybody's got a past, right? Every country. Name one country that isn't built on the bones of some other civilization, right? But, at the end of the day, I mean, God.
I don't even really have a problem with the whole thing in that sense. It's just that, can you keep the stuff that really kind of belongs in an S&M club or a sex club in the club? Can we do that?
Right, yeah.
If you want to go marching down the street, that's your fucking constitutional right. But, can we not have the sex
you do it
club with
naked?
us?
Yeah, can you not have like dicks out and fucking dildos up each other's asses and shit?
Yeah.
I actually saw that video. They're walking around with butt plugs that have those tails.
Right.
You know, like there's like a furry tail coming out of the butt plug. And
Of
so they're
course.
wearing these like assless chaps with this fucking tail sticking out of their ass. And I'm like, why is that necessary? Like, I don't even God damn, like people over in Mardi Gras are like, oh God, we need to like up our debauchery scale, man. People have forgotten about us.
Yeah.
Like they're watching the shit that goes down at the Gay Pride Parade, and they're like, oh, Mardi Gras is not as bad anymore.
Yeah, remember when flashing tits for 1 second was the biggest fucking faux pas ever?
Right? Yeah.
Now there's just entire sex clubs walking down the street.
I mean, I've always believed that everybody has a right to host a parade as long as you get your proper permits.
Of course.
And all that stuff. It's your right, and it's your constitutional right. I believe that everybody has the freedom to fuck whoever they want and be with whoever they want and all that stuff. I'm an egalitarian, but at the end of the day, I also do believe in a certain level of public decorum. Like I expect a little bit of like social, decorum, some nice rules. So
some
when
fucking
I take
decency.
Right, just a little public decency, a little bit.
Especially if you're inviting children.
Mm-hmm. And they sure are.
Yeah, that's
They
the part
really
that
are.
That's where I draw the line, okay? Like, in my opinion, ever since they got gay marriage, which was the only right that they didn't have under the Constitution that everybody else has, they got gay marriage. They're done. Right?
But, Sure, but if they want to have a parade, that's fine. That's their constitutional right. So just
but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they're done with fighting for, like, they have the same rights everybody else has now that they got marriage, right? So their only fight now is to get society to openly accept them better, and that there's less, fear of violence against them because they're gay or trans. The way to do that is to come out and be like, hey, I work at this job. I do this for a living. I have this beautiful home over here in this suburb. I have this car. Oh, I happen to be gay and have a husband. And people go, yeah, fine. But when you're like, but when you're like, here's my 10-year-old kid in a thong, look how brave he is. People are going to go, this is not the way to get society to accept you. I'm sorry. Like, this is not the way to do it.
No. It's crazy. Did you see that picture that everyone was sharing with that little kid who was making out with a grown man?
Oh, yeah. That was freaky, man. That's a little... I saw it on my timeline.
Kid that looked traumatized. Like, there's just this naked man in front of him, and he just looks completely traumatized. Like, what's that?
Then he's forced to make out with him. How about that?
It is a little creepy, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think, honestly, and I don't even want to blame, like, gay and trans people for that. They have literally had their movement taken over by insane, unhinged, fringe groups of gay and trans people that are okay with a really high level of debauchery and sin. And I guess you could say, if not from a religious sense, but definitely from like a social sense. It's like, oh, you bang children. Welcome to our parade. Like, what? No, get them out of here. Get them the fuck out of here. Be gone, Satan.
Yeah. So I mean, they've slowly edged their way into accepting the pedophiles, and now they're slowly edging towards accepting the zoophiles. What's left? Necrophiles?
Yep, that's a little creepy too. And by little, I mean, of course, a lot creepy.
Shit ton.
A shit ton of creepy. Yeah.
A metric shit ton.
Yeah. When you're talking about animals, children, and dead bodies, a lot creepy. Like, overabundance of creepy and weird and strange and wrong. Okay? Definitely wrong.
Oh my God. How's it over there in England, Discordia?
I haven't seen that much of it. A couple years ago, we actually had a meetup in London where on the same day as their parade, and there was a bit of weirdness then, but nothing like what you guys are having.
I saw the video of the I saw the video of the woman who walked up to the baby Trump balloon and stabbed it and fucking it deflated it.
Oh, I missed that. I missed that.
And then she walked up and was like shit. She's like, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself. He's the greatest president the United States ever had. And all these other English people were like yelling at her, and then she got arrested.
Wasn't that Based Amy?
I don't know. I just saw the video, and I think the knife slipped too because her hand was bleeding, and then the cop came up to her and arrested her. Not only because she destroyed property, but she had a knife, and you know you're not supposed to have a knife in London.
Ooh.
Apparently, it was scissors that she had. But they still thought it was a bladed weapon. So
right, yeah, it's a stabbing. I mean, these people think spoons are deadly weapons.
If you could take fucking butter knives, I'm sure they could take the fucking.
I have
scissors.
so much fun watching the police pages and watching what they've confiscated, and you see them like taking screwdrivers and spoons and bar knives, and they're so proud of themselves. They're like, "Big haul today. These deadly weapons have been removed from the street." You're like, "Is this a parody account?"
Moot Mouse in the chat is saying it was Based Amy.
So, it was what?
I guess the woman's name was Based Amy. So I guess she was. Yeah, Discordia was right on that one.
Right, I have no idea who that is.
I have no idea.
Is that someone you should know about, or?
Are they like just a Twitter personality or something? I don't know who Based Amy is.
I'm not sure. I've heard of her before. I think she makes videos.
Right. Well, you know, that was that was certainly a cool thing to do.
Yeah, that's definitely. I don't know. Like, I'm against the destruction of property, though.
Of course.
You know, I get equally pissed when somebody walks up and takes a Trump sign out of somebody's hand and rips it apart. You know,
yeah.
Like, she should not have done that. But
No,
at the same
that's true.
time.
That's
But
true.
at the same time, the memes that have come out of it, Count Dankula had the best meme. He showed a picture of the baby Trump balloon deflated on the ground because, you know, Based Amy stabbed it and deflated it.
Mm-hmm.
And then right next to it, Count Dankula put a picture of The Godfather, and he's like, "Look how they massacred my boy." You know, it's that whole scene when Sonny got killed, you know? And he's like, "Look what they've done to my boy."
But aren't these people socialists? So, I mean, it's the people's balloon.
Yeah, of course they're socialists. They are, right?
Who paid for that balloon?
Yeah, that was a socialist action, right? Everybody paid their taxes in form of a GoFundMe, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I really hate modern socialists more than I even hate the ones that murdered hundreds of millions of people. Not that I'm saying that was good.
No,
I'm just saying
but
modern socialists.
I understand what you're coming from there.
Yeah,
because
like modern socialists are like they take advantage of every single privilege of a capitalist system to spout socialism.
Yeah, and
they're like, socialism is the greatest thing in the world as they type on.
Yeah, and of course there's that, and then also the fact that they're bourgeois, fucking middle class assholes that have never experienced any sort of oppression ever or any hardship ever.
Yeah, they're not the blue collar working man. They're
not the coal
middle
miners.
class college kids that had a good upbringing and their parents paid for everything.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, they're not coal miners or fucking carpenters or truckers or whatever, you know?
Someone's just sent me a link to Based Amy. I've put it in the chat.
Right. Yeah, put that in there.
Good stuff.
I don't know. Do you need like a wrench to do that maybe?
Oh no, I put it in the Discord chat. If you want to look at it.
Right. Well, put it for the other people in the or I can do it. I guess I can do it.
Yeah. I got a wrench, so.
Oh, okay. You got it?
Yeah, where'd you put it? What room? Put it in the unprofessionals chat room. Is that where you put it? Yeah, there. Okay.
That's where it is. Yeah,
I got it.
She's a professional, so you know.
So what are you doing on the unprofessional?
That's slander.
So she put it in the correct place.
Yes.
Well,
But
there we go.
so we've covered straight pride. What do you guys think about what happened with the YouTube Crowder thing? Carlos Maza and all that.
Yeah, it's just really crazy how YouTube bends to every whim of whoever goes after them. They just fold. What's the point of being the biggest corporation on the planet if you're just going to fold for every time someone comes after you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It seems like the media piled on though. I'm just going through some of the articles, and there's loads, just hit piece after hit piece on YouTube.
Of course, because they always do that. They have their little circle jerk. They probably have like huge Discord groups or something with all the journalists or whatever they use. I don't know. You know, where they coordinate
Do you not
shit.
think it was expertly timed though for gay pride? Like, apparently this has been going on for years. He was like, oh, I've been getting this abuse for 2 years, and he does it right on gay pride.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was. It is the month of weaponized victimhood.
Yeah.
So that's definitely. But you know what? It had the opposite effect though. Crowder gained something like 100,000 new subs. They sold more Mug Club subscriptions than they ever have this month. Like, he announced on Twitter that they're now fully funded by Mug Club. Fuck demonetization. Like, they don't even care anymore. They got so many people going over there and joining Mug Club just because he got attacked.
Right.
And it's like, you fucking idiots. You just had the opposite effect of what you really wanted, you morons.
Well, that's
why they're trying to get him outright banned.
Yeah, but
they don't want him demonetized.
Right.
No,
exactly.
But I mean, they always get the Streisand effect whenever they do that. So unless they can get him totally banned,
which is what they were going for.
Yeah.
Let's face it. Like, even when YouTube apologized and said, we'll look at his content, we'll demonetize him until he takes down the offensive videos in question, they basically punished him even though they recognized he didn't break their terms of service. They still punished him. And that's what pissed off a lot of people. But then the left,
pissed me off.
But then the leftist media and the progressive types and the LGBT, warriors and Carlos Maza, that still wasn't good enough. They were like, YouTube refuses to punish Crowder. Like,
right,
how is demonetization not a punishment?
What is the point of having rules if, they don't really apply? I was like, yeah, of course, you didn't break any rules, but we're going to punish you anyway. What is even the point? Can you just say that, there's no rules, we just do whatever the fuck we want? Just put it out there and be honest.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no rules. Just fuck it. That's what they
then
should
there's
do.
all these
At least
other
I could
channels
respect it.
that have been demonetized. And they were all the ones that I know of were all in good standing the day before.
Mm-hmm.
And then they changed the rules and they're like, yeah, you should have foresaw our rule change because now you're being punished for something you did a year ago.
Right.
Oh yeah. And what's worst of all too is I think there was a timing thing too. And here, I'm going to sound a little like a conspiracy theorist, okay? But it wasn't just Pride Month. I think Carlos Maza, who works for Vox, timed this to happen literally like a week before they held their Vox Recode event.
Yeah, there's that. And then there's also the NYT, New York Times thing with the radicalization dude. So that was basically within the same week or something.
Yeah, it was. It was a couple days later. It was
so they're
just
like they got to have some sort of Discord server where they just collude, and make sure they time everything right for maximum impact. And Google is just we'll fold because they're also like run by people who agree with them. So they should. I miss the days of just money grubbing fucking capitalists that just wanted to make fucking money. Is it me? Is it just me?
Oh no, I miss those days too. You got a bot in your chat. Sorry, I was distracted.
A bot?
There's a bot in your chat posting links to hot girls, and it's got like a Japanese title. That's a bot. It's like posting the link over and over and over again. I timed him out. I don't know if I have the power to completely delete them. Let me try. Sorry, I got distracted on that.
Yeah.
Sorry, chat. Bots pop up now and again.
Yeah.
Yep, there they are. The name of the bot is literally full here, click here, and a bunch of Chinese lettering, and then it's like cute girls, hot girls, blah 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 blah. It's like, oh shit.
Right. Well, it's like hide user, right? Can you do that?
Yeah, I did it.
You did it?
Yeah, I deleted it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'll try to catch them.
Fucking bots.
I'll try to catch them. You don't have enough mods like I do. Every other my chats have wrenches, so I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't really want there to be anyone fucking around with free speech. You know, a bot is a bot, so that's not a human being. But other than that, you know, I don't really care about what they say.
No, I never time out, even on my chats, even if it's a troll watching me or a hate watcher. Like, I have a few stalkers of my own, and they'll get into my chats during my live shows and just, you know, and start typing a bunch of shit, and my fans will start fighting with them. But I make sure to tell people on stream, don't time them out. I believe in free speech. But I will time the fuck out of a bot.
Yeah.
It's not a real person. I will time the fuck out of a bot. I will fucking delete a bot. I will.
Yeah.
And that's why I give so many people wrenches, so that if a bot comes, because I get those bots that go, you know, N-word, 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 like 17 times in a row, just bah, 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 and it just fills up the chat. And I have my people have enough wrenches in there to just, like, whoever catches it first, just ban them.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I guess that's good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I've never really had a problem with it, so it's worked out, I suppose. Anyway, where were we?
We were talking about the Vox Crowder thing.
Right.
You know, but it affected a lot of smaller channels. Sinatra Says got completely demonetized. Pimp Monk, who has like a channel, it's like 1,200 subs. Like, Pimp Monk's a small dude. He's a really cool guy. I've streamed with him before. He's a fun guy. He's got a great sense of humor. He is a bit on the raunchy side, don't get me wrong. But he got completely demonetized, like the channel did. And people need to understand there's a difference between your videos getting demonetized and your whole channel being demonetized.
Yeah.
When you upload a video and you get demonetized, it's usually demonetized down to limited to no ads, which means the limited ads, you might still get some ads, but they're very low paying ads. You might only get about 10% money.
Right.
Than you would get 100% usually.
Right.
So my videos get demonetized all the time down to limited ads. And then people go, well, I still see ads. Well, that's because you're seeing ads for like the Ben Shapiro Show and the Blaze. You're not seeing Pepsi. You're not seeing Ford on my channel. You're not seeing Chevy. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not getting the...
Of course.
But when your channel gets demonetized, they pull your YouTube partnership, which means you can't even make money on Super Chats.
Right.
You can't make money at all.
Yeah, it's really...
That can hurt a lot of people like Pimp Monk and Sinatra, because that all they basically do is live streams, except for Sinatra does regular content too, but a lot of their income comes from the live streams and the super chat money they get, and that's terrible. They, like, YouTube just hit them right in the wallets. Just fuck them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's really a low blow for them to do that, like I said, because yeah, they didn't break the rules, and still, yeah, you're going to get punished. And it's just this hypersensitivity thing where obviously people who are right wing are still going to need toilet paper and car insurance.
Sure.
So, what are you
it's
doing?
really insidious, isn't it? Like the mainstream media too, and a lot of like alt. I guess you could consider alt media, because I really wouldn't consider like Vice and Vox necessarily mainstream. They're not CNN or New York Times, but they're mainstream enough because they're very, huge sponsorships and followings and things like that. But they're mostly online media. They don't have a cable show. But anyway, they like to call up like there was this one, some leaked emails came from like a Vice journalist, and it might have, I could be completely wrong. New York Times, Vice, one of them, where they called up Chase Bank, like a banking institution was like, hey, so-and-so has an account with you, and they're a neo-Nazi. Does that mean Chase supports neo-Nazis? They literally asked that question. And so, of course, Chase went, whoa, I don't want this bad and deleted their account. He was a member of the Proud Boys. And so they literally like canceled his account, gave him all his money, and was like, you can't bank with us anymore. That is fucking awful. Okay, that is terrifyingly awful. Like, that is a loaded fucking question. It's a loaded statement from a journalist. There is no ethics there at all. That person is evil.
Yeah, exactly. Because, they know that if they don't do something, the hit piece is going to come next day.
Yep.
Like, there's they obviously have no way of getting around that, and it's unethical for a journalist to do that because they're basically putting a gun to their head.
Didn't BuzzFeed do something similar with Dankula? They knew he'd been departnered before he did.
Sorry, come again?
So they'd obviously been in contact with YouTube and been like, oh, Nazi Pugman, you've got him, you're giving him money. And they emailed him or they contacted him to ask about his monetization before he knew he'd been demonetized.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He found out from them.
I remember that. Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
So, they like I said, their Discord server.
Because at the end of the day, and here's my biggest problem, all these social media platforms are trying to change their algorithms to get ahead and delete borderline content or negative content or content that might affect an election.
Mm-hmm.
And they're working really hard in order to placate these hate mobs. But at the end of the day, the hate mobs their only thing that's going to even come close to making them happy, even though I don't think they have a personality and emotions like human beings do, so they can't ever be happy. But what they want to see is people banned, period, just completely taken off the platform. That's the only thing that will placate these hate mobs. And they can't do that because if they silence people like Crowder, who is a conservative comedian, for saying naughty words, they would have to ban a whole lot of other voices in order to make it fair. So people like Trevor Noah, Samantha Bee called President Trump's daughter a feckless cunt.
Mm-hmm.
And YouTube's okay with her content.
Of course.
Because she's left-leaning, right? A left-leaning comedian. But a conservative comedian calls a gay Latino man a gay Latino, and suddenly it's harassment, And so my biggest thing is,
and that's even
all these platforms.
Just a side note, that's even in his own name.
Yeah, he literally goes by @gaywonk.
Yeah, that's what he calls himself.
Right. So don't get me wrong. Crowder did make fun of his mannerisms and do the lisp thing, but it was in the form of comedy. Right. Yeah, I haven't seen much of Crowder, but I've seen excerpts, basically. Yeah, me too. I don't watch Crowder all the time. Mm-hmm. I did get a mug, though. I paid for Mug Club for 1 year just to get a mug so that I could do a joke. So I could do a fucking joke on one of my videos.
What's with the fucking Mug Club, though? How many mugs do you need? Do they send you a mug every month or what? No, you sign up, you get the mug one time. Okay.
That's it.
That's it.
It's a nice mug. I have it, But I wanted to do a joke, so I wanted the Louder Crowder mug just to do a joke, and I did the video, and I was like, that was a $60 joke right there. It's a $60 joke right there.
I saw that video. It was worth it.
But I think what bothers me the most is that they're constantly calling for these tech companies to change things and change their algorithm and stop harassment, stop naughty words, stop bad words, stop the bad people. But these tech companies and these platforms had already given every user the tools necessary to not see whatever you don't want to see.
Right.
You can block people, you can mute people, you can disable comments on your video. If you know your video is probably going to be controversial in nature and you're going to get some hate messages, just disable your comments. Or don't read them, and at the end of the day, even if YouTube gives you recommended videos, let's say you look up immigration and you're watching Samantha Bee, but over to the side there, it recommends Steven Crowder talking about immigration, and you know who that is. Don't click on it. I don't understand.
I don't know. I don't know how to emphasize this any harder.
Like, they literally like have given us the power to choose what we want to see and what we don't want to see.
Yeah, but they don't like that because they long for the good old days with television.
Right, but that's also the thing too, is that a lot of people like they're like getting mad that if you're an LGBT person or trans person and you do a video on YouTube, you scroll through the comments, there's going to be all these hate trolls in there, these people saying, you know, you're fucking unnatural, all these horrible things, because the internet gives permission for everybody to be their most horrible self,
right?
Especially Twitter. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. But the thing is, they want to see those comments so that they can use them to prop up their victimhood.
Right.
If you didn't know those comments were being made because you just read your comment section or you had no comments at all, if you blocked and muted the people you don't like on Twitter and only saw the things you wanted to see, they would no longer feel oppressed and attacked and harassed because they never see it.
Right.
It would be a nothingness to them.
They have,
you know?
I mean, there's so many tools available to you. You can block people. You can block words. You can block hashtags. There's so many things you can make sure that you're in your echo chamber if that's what you want to be, right?
Right.
There's
and
all these
that's
tools.
my biggest problem with all this. Like, I watched those videos from the Vox Coded conference, and they had Susan Wojcicki, CEO of YouTube, up on stage, did a 40 fucking minute interview, and then at the end of that interview, there was a question and answer, and the first they that got up there was the same they that was interviewing the CEO of Google in the last video I did on CEO, Axios. You know, mm-hmm. I think her name is Ida Free or something. It's a dude address. Anyway, got up there and was just like, "Hey, Susan Wojcicki, question: are you sorry for the way LGBT and trans people are treated on your platform?"
Whoa, that's a loaded question too.
And then, of course, Susan Wojcicki was up there, and like her programming wigged out, and she was like, "I'm really sorry for the boot from disk. Okay, I know what to say. Like, and I'm just like, Jesus, this is just a big fucking like leftist media circle jerk. That's all this Vox Coded thing is. And then the next guy got up there and was like, "Do you believe your platform is radicalizing people to the alt-right?" And it's like, Susan Wojcicki's like, "Well, we're trying our best to like get rid of borderline content that doesn't necessarily break our terms of service, but is radicalizing people." And I'm like, gee, this woman, if I could just like, Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, just give me her job for a year. I will make YouTube money.
Yeah.
Okay? Just give me that job for 1 year. I'd walk out on that stage and be like, "We gave you all the tools to not see what you don't want to see." Like, yes, what do you want from us?
Stop apologizing. Fucking hell. Stop with the apologies. You have the tools. You can block whatever you want. You can delete your entire comment section if you want to. What more do you want?
Exactly. Now, I kind of feel bad because I just went through a string of jokes that I planned on doing in my next video. But, hey, a little preview for you guys who are watching the countdown to the video here on Undoom's channel. You're welcome.
There we go. Little preview for the next Magog video.
But, I mean, am I right or wrong? Like, they do give us all the tools, right?
I certainly think so. Yeah.
I mean, my argument is making sense a little bit. I mean, if anybody, by all means, put it in the chat. I mean,
no,
like, I don't even know how to block people on Twitter. I have an empty block list.
No,
I mute some people, but I never block.
Yeah, I don't have anyone.
I don't even have anyone muted.
I don't have anyone blocked either. It just never really bothered me. But, I mean, I guess I understand that there are people who just can't take it, and then you have all these tools.
Yeah, I guess giving the power to the people to see what they want to see and click on what they want to click and hide what they want to not see was too fucking complicated for these.
Yeah, because, you know, and I just thought of another thing. There's this thing now, it's been there for years, where you can just, as soon as YouTube recommends something, you can click on it and press not interested.
Yeah, you can.
And that modifies your algorithm for you. But, people are idiots. So I guess they haven't found that.
Right. It is pure insanity, in my opinion, because they want to be outraged. There's nothing else to fight about. They've got all the rights under the Constitution. So now it's all about just earning their place in society and getting more and more people to accept them so that they don't feel endangered when they ride public transportation or whatever. And I'm fine with that. You want to push for this kind of social acceptance, but do it right, do it respectfully, but because there's nothing else to fight about, they prevent it. So they literally sit down and watch Crowder videos. And when he says something triggering, they write it down and they write a fucking article and they fucking get outraged and then they tell you to do something about it. And why'd you watch it in the first place? You didn't have to.
Yeah. It's you shouldn't watch Crowder if you don't like Crowder. It's as simple as that. I mean, when we just had television, people switched fucking channels. What was wrong with that?
I came across an article earlier about Discord, and somebody had gone into people's Discords to be outraged.
Of course they do.
I made an account and I went in this server. Yeah, it was invite only, but I found an invite and I went in and I found the Nazi memes. It's like, why did you go in there?
Yeah.
You had to put in conscious effort to go in there.
It's like sometimes I click on a video and I'm really not that interested in it, or it's saying something that I completely disagree with, and I go, "Nah, I'm done. Next."
Yeah.
No, the algorithm.
How hard is that? Oh yeah, right. That I just want to do a meme where like you holding the gun to an LGBT member's head. It's like, watch Crowder, watch it, you motherfucker.
Oh, you.
Why does the X not work? Why
You
does
get
the X
banned
not
for that.
work?
You'd be so banned. Oh,
I guess I'm
Photoshop Susan's face onto it, like you will watch it.
Like I don't know how old you guys are. I'm assuming on Doom based on how he talks, he's from a bit of an older generation like me. I grew up in a time where if a song came on the radio that I didn't like, there's these like knobs right there on the radio.
Yep, I remember those.
Do you remember those good old days?
Yeah, we had this thing called a remote for the TV.
Right. It was like these two nice little nipples right on the front. Just tweak them a little bit and get exactly the answer you want.
Next.
But we've gone past that. You have to watch something that enrages you, and then you have to be enraged and tell the world your enragement and demand somebody else do something about it. And it's like YouTube from the beginning should have come out and been like, well, the mouse kind of like moves over whatever video you don't want to watch. And then when you like right click, you can just let's say, I don't want to see.
Yep. Just not interested. Select that and the algorithm will adapt. What the hell's wrong with that?
But now they're demanding that these tech companies preemptively prevent them from seeing horrendous shit by reading their mind and not knowing what they want to watch or not want to watch, and then delete it before it even gets to them.
And people wonder why Google wants all this data about people.
Right. And then they start fucking with like subscription things. Like, dude, like half of my audience, I'll put out a new video and like I'll get like 8-9 comments like, I totally didn't know you were back doing videos, Magog. And I'm like, I never quit.
Mm-hmm.
What are you fucking? Oh, I don't get alerts anymore. Like, why is YouTube fucking with that kind of shit? When they could have just simply come out and be like, we provided a platform and see what you don't.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there was some sort of new blog about that the other day, and they're apparently going to fuck around with that algorithm now because, it doesn't work. So now they're probably going to make it work even less, I suppose. I don't know if you read that.
Yeah, something Sundar Pichai, which is why I did my video the other day, said on his interview with that I don't know what to call him. I don't know. I really don't. I'm so confused. But anyway, he said we've got to we're going to be trying harder to get rid of that borderline content that doesn't break our terms of service but still causes harm.
Is harm.
Those words, those words right there scare the fuck out of me. They're also coming out of the mouth of the CEO of Google.
Yeah, that's scary as fuck. That the biggest corporation on the planet wants to talk about harmful thoughts, just like in 1984. I mean, it's not even funny anymore. It used to be like a meme, 1984 or George Orwell, blah blah blah. But here we are. You know,
Anthony Vogel in the chat brings up a very good point. If you can't control your own feeling, you have to control everything else. Very good.
Yeah.
Yes. Very good. See, I like to also watch the chat and actually interact with.
I'm a little bad with doing two things at once. I can do one thing at a time, so if I start reading the chat, I'll zone out with you guys.
Right. Also suit. What's up, suit? And you did have a super chat. I don't know if you caught that because we're talking.
Oh, did I miss that?
Yeah, you had a $2 super chat from somebody.
Oh, there we go.
God, you're cutting out a little bit for me.
Sorry, Charles Fowler, Willing Megogonite says, just a tip. I mean, a tip. Wow, that's... Thank you for that
just
super chat.
Tip.
That is how we do birth control, isn't it? Too soon? Too soon? I guess. Just roaring silence.
Yeah, if there's a little cutting out Discord, it's honestly Discord. Like, I've tried fucking with my audio settings, trying to make it. I don't know what it is. Sometimes, like, you and Undoomed cut out too. I just have to accept the fact that it's not cutting out on stream. It's just something. Discord's not perfect.
Fair enough.
Right. Yeah.
No,
I think.
But it's the best we've got.
I can hear Discordia perfectly, but you kind of drop out a little bit every now and then, Magog.
Yeah, you do to me too. I don't know why. I've tried everything. I honestly have.
Right.
The only thing I can think of doing is actually like manually setting my mic, but then you guys might hear like my air conditioner running and shit. You know.
Right. It probably won't make any difference because it's not really about the level as far as I can tell. It's just dropping out a little bit.
Right.
It might be the sensitivity on Discord itself.
Oh, it is? Yeah, you should talk to Discordia.
Like, that's why I'm playing around with the sensitivity to see if I can get it. That looks okay. Okay. Let's try that. Okay.
Right.
I'm not lighting up green constantly, so it's not picking up background noise, but I hope maybe that'll help. Maybe the auto setting just wasn't working well for me.
Sounds better.
Because you were just cutting out the end of some sentences.
Yeah, I don't have push to talk, so that's not it. So I don't know what... Discord's fucked up. So anyway, we've been streaming now for 50 minutes, and we haven't talked about your new video yet.
No, it wasn't. It's not really about talking about it. I just wanted to inform people that I will be uploading a video after we finish the stream. I don't want to spoil the surprise.
So we're not getting spoilers.
No, I'm not going to spoil it. But so I just wanted to.
No, I was just bringing it up so you can announce it. I mean, there's more people watching now.
Yeah.
Hey.
So yeah, exactly. When the stream is over, I will upload the new video that I made, and after that's done, we will move over to Magog's channel and continue talking for a while, and have a little stream there, and then I'll probably show up on my Discord server after that.
Yep. It'll probably be on my live stream channel because I'm trying to reserve my main channel for just stuff in character. Right. So I will post a link to the to my live stream channel in the chat.
Right. So that one is, and for those who like just Googling shit, that's called Magog live streams, right? Yeah,
Magog or More Scar live streams.
Yeah.
If you type in Magog in YouTube, you'll get both of my channels right up at the top. I'm the only fucking Magog on YouTube.
Yeah, it's just you and the Bible.
Yep, just me and the old Bible stories is all you're gonna get. You know? All you're gonna get from that shit.
Yeah. So that was pretty much just the announcement that watch the video after the stream, and then come and hang out a little more after that if you want to talk about the video on Magog stream, and then I'll talk to you on Discord. So if anyone's awake, but I guess someone's always up. At one point.
We probably won't stream for more than 2 hours on my channel because I do want to get another video out tonight sometime. Yeah. So, you know, I do like talking to you, and I know sometimes we get to talking and it'll be 10 hours.
Yeah.
You know, but I've really got to do some work. I got to try to start treating this more like a job. So I'm in like the middle of moving and waiting for contractors to get the final things done up there so I can finally move. And I have to. I'm also trying to build my channel.
Do you have a new date for when you'll be in there?
I should, if everything goes according to plan, because now that we've got the rain is out and it's been pretty nice, and I've got the contractors got their quotes and everything, I should be able to move out by the 1st.
All right.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming because I already took some time off of making content, thinking I was already going to move, and then those huge rainstorms moved through just week after week of deluge. I mean, it got so bad the fucking rivers here in Arkansas just overflowed. Like they flooded. One of the levees broke down in Little Rock and just flooded the streets of Little Rock. I mean, it just wouldn't stop fucking raining. And you can't do like electrical work and run field lines for water pipes and put in septic tanks when it's pouring down fucking rain every day.
Right. So what about you, Discordia? You got any videos coming out?
Yeah, I was working on something with that Vox Apocalypse, but there is so much stuff to go through.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I was writing it all down. I'm like, I'm gonna be here for weeks. It'll be over, and the video will just pop up like, yeah, here's my dick.
Yeah. Oh, it's a new super chat here from Charles Fowler, Willing Magogonite. Magog, still need the bracer sizes, please, when you can.
Yeah, I'll.
Does that make sense to you? That does not make sense to me.
Yeah, he's building some armor for me to wear as Magog.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so some nice green and black like scale shoulder pad, like shoulder pauldrons and arm.
You gonna have like a football outfit or?
I actually sold I invented, in order to do a video on real life Quidditch, I invented a game in Morsecar called Slaughter Ball. And I actually sold Slaughter Ball jerseys on my store for a while because people wanted them. That real life Quidditch is a real thing. They play it in England. They literally run around a soccer field, a football field.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard of it, actually.
Yeah, with sticks between their legs.
Yeah, I have no idea what it is.
It's the game that they play in Harry Potter. They fly around on brooms and throw balls through hoops.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But because Harry Potter is so popular that they tried creating a real life Quidditch. But the thing is, magic, there's no flying, right? So they're literally running around with these sticks between their legs. And it can be played by both boys and girls, so it's a man-women sport.
Mm-hmm.
And they're throwing a ball at each other, and they got these hoops to try to throw the ball through. But then they have the golden snitch. Well, the golden snitch in Harry Potter is this little ball that the Seeker has to fly after and try to catch. Well, in the real-life Quidditch, it's just this big burly dude wearing a yellow shirt that has a ball, like a ball inside of a sock hanging off the back of his belt. So he looks like he has a fucking ball sack hanging from his back, and you have to try to grab the ball sack off of his belt. So, but he's like this big burly dude who'll just throw you to the ground and kick you in the face. It is so fucking weird to watch this big burly dude with a ball sack hanging off of his back end beating the fuck out of a girl, just smashing her on the ground. like what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah. Didn't you hear that dodgeball is bad for you now?
I did. Yeah. I heard that.
Yeah, dodgeball is oppressive.
It's oppressive. That was the word, right? Yeah, it's very, very hard when you get that softball thrown at you.
Yeah, I think I saw Sargon's video on that one. I didn't know it was happening because I didn't read the article itself, but it seemed like some bullshit. It seemed like some bullshit.
I don't know what it is with teaching kids that they can't compete. What are they? I thought sports was supposed to teach kids about the real world, about competition and the working life and team play and.
Yeah, well, I think it comes from a negative view of dodgeball. They have this kind of like idea in their head that all the big strong jocks and all the popular kids are going to pick each other and leave the nerds on the other team to just get slaughtered, right?
And that's not a fault with the game. That's a fault with the selection process in that case.
Right. But if the coach doesn't allow that and actually picks the teams himself and mixes people up so that there's a little bit of everybody on both sides, dodgeball is a perfectly fine sport. The balls don't hurt. They don't even use the rubber balls anymore. They use like these foam ones that barely fly. You can throw it as hard as you can and it just floats. Mm-hmm. Like everybody could dodge that unless you're like a fat ass. Like when I played dodgeball when I was a kid, we had these like thick rubber balls that had little squares kind of like sewn into them. Mm-hmm. And that shit hit you in the face, you were out. Like, not out of the game, you were out.
Can we just play that shit with bowling balls? That'd be great.
Yeah, I think it would be much cooler to play it with like guns.
Dodge, motherfucker, dodge.
The only person good at that game would be Neo.
Yep.
Certainly would give you more incentive to dodge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, like I don't know, like I think the love of dodgeball in the early days of like the 80s and stuff turned into sports like paintball. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's kind of the same competitive sport, isn't it? You get on a team, and each team is a color, and you try to get each other out. Right. I mean, that's essentially it, isn't it? I mean, you're just
yeah.
It's a form of warfare, I suppose you could say, and it teaches you to think on your feet. It teaches you, it teaches you like agility and endurance because you're out there running around.
It teaches you a lot of shit. I mean,
it's like, man.
Yeah, and it's not just physical; it's strategy, and you got all your basic.
Oh man, I hated playing paintball with we had a nice paintball group, and some of them I didn't really know. They were just a local group that I joined with a friend of mine, and some of these guys were like ex-military and stuff like that. And this one dude showed up. He was like an ex-Marine sniper.
Right.
And he had this paintball gun that looked like a real gun. It had this super long barrel on it. And it was like bored, and he had like nitrogen instead of oxygen and all kinds of shit. And so we got together one time on my buddy's land, he was hosting the game that weekend, and we had about 15 acres to play on of woods and fields, pastures and woods.
Right.
And we were like, okay, what game are we going to play? Do we divide up into teams of 6, or we got kind of an odd man here because the new guy's this Marine that showed up wearing a ghillie suit. Like that, he looks like he could blend into the swamp,
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was just like, well, we got a new guy, and that makes it like uneven. So maybe we can like, put an extra person, or somebody can like, be the referee. And then he just went, no, guys, I'll save you the trouble. It's all of you versus me. And then he just took off running. And we were like, who the fuck is this guy? I hated that game so much. We all died.
Really?
We all died, dude. We tried to split up into groups and find him. Dude, I was like walking through a field and you hear the poop, poop, poop. And I was like, man, somebody just got fucked up. There was a delay. Whack, whack, whack! Oh, my fucking head! Oh, God! Dude, it was like a delay, man. It's like his paintball gun could shoot like 200 yards, man.
Who the fuck was this guy? Fucking Rambo?
I was like... That dude had a ghillie suit on. He was like blended into the terrain. We couldn't find him, dude. We could not find him. You just hear pop, 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 pop. Ah! Oh, here comes another one. Dude, it was like nothing but headshots, man. And all we had was the face mask. We didn't even have like full helmets. That dude hit me in the ear.
Oh,
He hit me in the fucking ear.
man.
Oh my god! I was just like it was just like a ringing sound. I've never had my ear become hot.
Yeah.
It was hot. Like I could feel throbbing heat coming off my right ear. I was just like, that's hot.
Oh, yeah. I remember that from boxing. Yeah.
Dude, it was fucking insane. And after I was one of the first out, because I'm a big fucking target. I'm 6'3", 260 pounds, Like, I couldn't duck behind shit. I couldn't get away from this guy. I just ran out into the field and was like, oh, let him shoot me and you guys will know where he's at. Like,
I'll die for you.
I'll sacrifice myself. And he took me out, so I went back to the front of the property and I just sat down on a fucking, lawn chair that we brought all the folding chairs with us. And I just sat down drinking some water, just listening to the slaughter out there in the woods, just pop, 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 pop. Fuck, I'm out. You out. I'm out. That fucking Marine sniper fucked us up, dude.
Well, I mean, imagine how embarrassing it would have been if he didn't.
Yeah.
That would have been even worse.
Well, part of it was his rig, too. He was running like a Tippmann 98 with all kinds of mods, extended barrel, nitrogen oxide instead of oxygen, which will sail a fucking paintball. I'm not joking. You can shoot a couple 100 yards with a nitrogen. Mm-hmm. And it was a fucking slaughter.
And he had
a ghillie suit on. And, yeah, he had a ghillie suit on. He had face paint. That dude ran up there and just climbed into a tree and was like Predator, dude. I was just like, if we put down our guns, he might not kill us. Like, one of my more smaller friends was just running across the field, and I guess he thought if he like zigzagged, the Marine would miss him. Mm-hmm. Nope. Hit him right in the knees.
Right.
He went for the knees. He went for the fucking knees.
What a dick.
And after everybody was out, it was like fucking 12 dudes all sitting down in lawn chairs with paint on our faces and our ears and our fucking shoulders. And we're sitting there drinking sodas and beer, and then he just comes out of the woods. Shh, 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 just comes out like a total badass. I expected an explosion behind him. Yeah. And he just came walking up, was like, great game, guys. I appreciate the practice. And just walked off, got in his truck, and drove away.
No comment? That's it?
And we were just like, practice? What was he practicing for? And I was just like, he's going to go find a clock tower next, I think, is what's going to happen.
Woof.
That dude, I don't even remember his name, man. He only showed up to one game, but, man, we got fucked up by him, dude. We've got 12 guys that played paintball on the regular, got fucked up by one Marine.
Boom.
Zigzag, Frank, duck, he's coming. Dude, we had it all too. We had paintball grenades. We thought if we could just find out where he was, just lob the paintball grenades in his general direction.
Right.
Spray paint everywhere, We couldn't find him. He was moving constantly. Every time he'd make a kill, he'd jump out the tree and just disappear into the woods. And all we'd hear is shh.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone. Yeah, he's gone. There was one dude out there trying to hunt him. He was like one of the last ones. There was like 3 dudes left. Mm-hmm. And he heard the bushes rustle, and he just fired a paintball into it, and a fucking deer got pissed because he got hit by a paintball and took off running. And he was just like, oh, I shot a deer with a paintball. That probably pissed him off. Whack, 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 right in the back of the head. He's like, fuck! He used the deer as a decoy!
Oh my God! What a fucking great! I wish that was like a spectator sport.
I know, dude, man. Dude, they do some hardcore shit. Yeah, they do some hardcore shit with paintball and airsoft. Like I think up in Minnesota or something, they have like this yearly like World War II airsoft competition that has like over 1,500 people playing in it. And it's like a recreation of like a big battle of World War II. They got tanks that shoot giant paintball canisters that just like as soon as they hit the ground, it sprays paint everywhere. They've got tanks. They have fucking landing. Yeah, they have like tanks.
They're
and boats
just reenacting D-Day or something.
Yeah, like they have boats that drop the landing, you know, like the boats that drop the ramp and you run off through the water up onto the beach. And oh man, it's like half Germans, half, you know, allies. And it's just the craziest airsoft fuckfest I've ever seen. I watched a YouTube video on it. It was just the most insane. Like they literally had pyrotechnics set up to like.
Yeah.
It was
like real.
Yeah, man. Well, it wasn't like fire, but it's like air compressors, and they'd hit the button and it'd blow dirt and smoke up into the air. It looked like an explosion, you know?
Well,
and it was just like
to the realism.
Yeah, and it's just like these fucking people are insane. Like
no, but that's awesome. Fucking awesome. Just watch how long someone finds. You know, someone's going to find out about that and say it's toxic masculinity, and it'll be gone in a couple of years. So fucking do it now while it still exists, while it's still legal.
Right. Now, don't get me wrong. The tanks weren't like moving around. They didn't want to accidentally run somebody over.
No, I get it. But still, you know, some fucking SJW is going to find out about this, and it's going to be banned.
Right.
It's going to happen. Just you watch.
Well, they have massive LARP events and stuff too. I've seen medieval ones that have 2,000 people all just running at each other like in Braveheart. Just fucking bashing each other with foam swords.
Yeah, but then it's like foam. This is like guns. That's really toxic, you know?
Well, I'm just speaking to that on how popular events like that are, you know? Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, you're right. The SJWs will find their way to weasel into it. They've already taken over cosplay, video games, Magic the Gathering, you know, movies. Like, I guess LARPing World War II events will be next.
The internet. Google.
Oh, everything. God forbid those guys host an event like that. I mean, it was a bit of an older video. I believe it was from like 2008 or 2009. But imagine if they hosted that again and you had 1,500 people out there and half of them were wearing Nazi uniforms.
Yep, that'd be a big scandal.
Yeah.
Even though they're probably they're just reenactors.
Yeah, I knew a reenactor in England when I lived there. I was there for 5 years when I was in the military, and one of the English civilians I worked with at my shop, he had a full-blown like SS uniform.
Mm-hmm.
He had an SS uniform. It was black, had the lapels, had the SS armband, had the fucking hat, because he would go out to Alconbury and reenact and do like reenactments and talk about the history of the German planes they had on display there.
Right. Yeah, just imagine when he dies and they find that thing there in his closet. Like,
in his closet?
What the fuck is this?
He was a Hitler. But he spent years collecting all that stuff because he wanted it to be historically accurate. So it was all the real stuff, except for the clothes themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all his badges, all his medals, they were historical fucking artifacts. He wasn't wearing no recreations. He was wearing, like, the only thing that wasn't the real historical thing was the outfit itself, which was a black suit, basically.
Right.
You know, and it was hemmed up to fit his body and everything. But all the medals, all the ribbons, all the fucking everything was all bought at like antique shops all around Germany and, you know, Spain. And like he would travel Europe and find fucking World War II German shit.
Right. No, well, I mean that's a completely different type of person that does that. Like, it's like our reenactors, right? It's not that they agree with the fucking philosophy.
Civil War.
It's not like they're actually they're fighting for the Confederacy. It's just we have to split up into two teams and have some fun.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I let people have their fucking fun. I swear to God, the reason I do more videos on the left than the right, because there are some crazy people on the far right too, don't get me wrong, but the reason I do most of my videos on the left is because they're just the enemies of fun.
Yeah. That is true. They want to destroy fun. I've not heard that put any better.
They do, man. It's fucking insane. Like, look at how everybody's freaking out over, like...
That's a profound truth.
Mm-hmm. It's like, look how many fucking feminists and SJW types and fucking, like female SJW gamer girls that get into like game development and stuff. They get all fucking pissed off when a video game comes out with a hot chick in it and she's got boobs. And it's just like, oh, that's just unrealistic body, blah, blah. Just let them have their boobs, man.
Yeah.
Just let people have their fun, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, just add the fucking character that you want. I don't know what fucking women want in their characters. They want huge fucking dicks. I don't know. Give it to them.
Big fat stomachs, you know?
I don't know what it is. I don't care. Just do what you want. But don't...
It's this, I can't identify with it because it doesn't look just like me.
Right.
Yeah.
They have forgotten that the whole point of playing video games and watching movies is to break away from reality and have a fantasy.
Exactly. So what do you want in a video game, Discordia? You're a woman. You can answer for that. You can answer for all women now.
Yep.
All women. I don't know. Like the same stuff as everyone that I play games with.
Yeah, but I mean,
it doesn't matter what the character looks like as long as the story's good.
You know that men are tantalized by tits, right?
Yeah.
So what would you want to see? What's your like thing as a woman? You want to have a bare-breasted man with sweats running down and glistening and body oil.
They do that too. There's a definite double standard.
So I'm just explaining it to me.
I actually don't care.
You don't care. Yeah,
well, that's good.
It's like, well, whatever you want, just do it. Don't fucking rag down on whatever some guy wants. If he wants this big-titted avatar, so what? There are actually women with big tits. They do exist. They might
I actually asked a friend of mine once when I used to play World of Warcraft. He always used to play a female blood elf. And I'm like, why do you always pick the female?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, well, it would be gay of me if I was looking at the man's ass.
Dude, that's the exact same excuse I use. Like, every time I played Skyrim, I always created a female character. And my buddies were over one day drinking beers, and I was playing Skyrim because I wanted to show them some mods. And they were like, why are you like this huge tittied fucking hot chick instead of a dude? And I'm like, the fact that you asked that question means you're gay.
I have to look at that thing's ass all day.
Yeah, like it's a third person game. I'm gonna be staring at a hot chick's ass, or I'm gonna be staring at some muscular dude. Like, what?
I think that's probably a good point that covers just about every time you choose a female character. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the point. That's why people love playing Lara Croft in the early days. I mean, she was like one of the first. I mean, yeah, back then the graphics weren't that great.
The pointy boobs.
Yeah, her boobs were basically triangles, but but at the same time, people loved it because it was like, oh my god, a strong female character that's kind of hot too. Like, let's play this game,
Right.
And then there's this like, oh, female characters in video games are unrealistic body, have unrealistic bodies. You play a fighting game where these like ninja kung fu
really?
Girls, like, you think they're going to be like fat? Are you seriously think they're going to be like fat?
You think men look like the Hulk?
Right. Like, I don't get it. It's like when a woman's like, I want to see more realistic portrayals of women in video games. And then it's like they go and watch like a fighting game or like Lara Croft running around those tombs, jumping and climbing and all that. A woman that well in shape is going to look like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe her boobs won't be that big. Maybe she got some fake titties. Maybe you can make that argument. But she's going to have like a flat stomach and abs and strong legs. Like, isn't she? Like, you,
yeah.
Given what all characters do in most video games, especially in the action RPG genre, they're gonna be thin. They're gonna be toned, aren't they? I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of like the double standard too. It's like, oh, look at this female body, and it's just for the male gaze. Meanwhile, the guy is over there with like every muscle known to man sticking out. He's got like a fucking bulge in his cod piece.
No one looks like that. Obviously,
no.
Fucking not even Arnold Schwarzenegger was that toned in his heyday, but it's a fucking fantasy,
right?
You don't want to play some pudgy guy from Google.
And then game companies start getting on the diversity bandwagon and putting like females in games where females probably wouldn't be in the first place. Like World War II games. What was that Battlefront game came out and had a woman with a robotic arm, and it's like, where the fuck did that happen in World War II? Like,
yeah, if you're going for realism, then you kind of have to respect what would be in that situation.
Yeah, like first of all, they wouldn't have robotic arms, so I mean that was stupid. And then women were probably not in the SAS.
No,
probably not.
No.
You know,
they're not. They weren't even in the regular, any of the allied. They were nurses, right?
Yeah,
like most women were like nurses or office workers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they had some sort of undercover women.
Oh, there was definitely that.
Yeah.
I mean, women.
I think some units had women snipers.
Right, that might be like
heard correctly.
They might have some. There are probably
exceptions. Russians did.
There are always exceptions.
But
the Russians use men and women.
Lines.
No, the Russians did. The Russians used men and women.
Yeah, I mean,
because they were running out of people. They were running out of people. They'd shoot their own people if they retreated. So they were kind of running out of troops, you know.
That's not a good strategy.
But there probably would be an interesting video game, like from the woman's perspective in World War II, because the women sort of took over everything while the men were off fighting.
Yeah, you could probably come up with a gaming idea for that if you really wanted to. You
could actually do them justice rather than kind of shoehorning them into somewhere that they weren't.
Right.
I'd love to see a game where you played a female spy that was sent into the heart of Germany to gain information on where like Hitler was going to be next.
Le Résistance.
Yeah, like that shit happened all the time. People have used female spies for centuries. The Romans did it. The fucking Greeks did it. Like women are seducers and manipulators if they want to be. Mm-hmm. Like that is a true thing. Like, you know, you want to get some information out of your enemy, send a hot chick.
Yeah, men are dumb.
That would be a really interesting game concept, but just throwing them in a battlefield and being like, yeah, we're just going to pretend they were there. Like everybody's like, that's not realistic.
No. And there probably, like you say, there probably is interesting stories that they could actually get into that would be based in reality. And that's much more interesting, especially in that type of game where everything is supposed to be based in reality. Right. I mean, if you're just going to throw shit in there, why just not have like fucking aliens and Nazis from the moon and dinosaurs, right?
Well, even if you want that, that's fine. It's like a fantasy game by that point.
Yeah, like that fiction, movie. But, what was that movie? Iron Sky?
But don't make it a history game.
No.
I mean, there was the Iron Sky, you know, the Nazis on the moon thing, which was it was a parody, you know. But you know, there's this like if your game is going to be like that and still based in some sort of history, but like an alternate history, I'm fine with it. But that's not what Battlefront was. It was supposed to be just like a straight World War II kind of realistic World War II battle game. And they had a woman with a robotic arm. Like that pissed a lot of people off. But if they had put a woman with a robotic arm in some sort of steampunk fantasy version of alternate history, everybody would be okay with it.
Oh yeah.
It depends on the game. It has to fit the game.
Yeah.
But they're always trying this shit. They were always trying this shit. I remember the writers for Netflix's Witcher coming out. Witcher 3 was probably one of the best-selling RPGs of all time. One of the best RPGs I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to like hire some black actress to play Ciri. Now, I know it's a fantasy setting, but it is based off of medieval Poland.
Okay.
Not a lot of black people walking around.
No.
In medieval Poland.
No.
Sorry to break it to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there is some realistic expectation.
Ciri, that's like a Norwegian name, right?
Yeah, she's like the, I don't know, kind of the adopted daughter of Witcher, I guess you could say. Like she's blonde. No, she has the white hair. You know,
I just remember looking it up years ago when that Apple thing came out with Siri.
Oh yeah.
I think it was Norwegian.
Yeah, I mean those people it's all Scandinavian cultures though. Poland and fucking Norway and all those are all Viking. It's all fucking Scandinavian. But Ciri was had a particular look. She was a Witcher, so she had the white hair because all Witchers do, and and stuff like that. But another part of it is it has nothing to do with historical context. When you turn a video game into a movie, people kind of want to see that character come to life as they remember them from the game or the book or the comic book originally. So it's kind of stupid to just shoehorn in certain things. Like why did people get triggered so much over James Bond being played by a black guy? Because James Bond's James Bond. You know, like nobody would have been upset if he was like a different 00 agent.
Right.
But why does he have to be James Bond? You know? It's just kind of the way our culture is. Sometimes you just want to see the characters that you know as they are represented originally.
Yeah.
There's nothing really racist about that. It'd be the same if like somebody was like, hey, we got a new Black Panther movie coming out, but Black Panther's going to be played by an Asian guy.
Yeah, no, he's going to be played by Keanu Reeves. How about that?
Yeah, because
everyone loves Keanu Reeves, right? Come on.
Right? You're breathtaking.
Oh, yeah.
I love the meme of Keanu Reeves because he went up on stage on E3 because he's going to be in Cyberpunk, you know?
Yeah.
And he went up on stage and that guy was like, you're breathtaking. And he was like, no, you're breathtaking. Somebody made a meme from Megamind where Metro Man was like, one guy was like, I love you. And then it had Metro Man. And he was like, I love you too, random citizen. Like, and they just superimposed Keanu Reeves on Metro Man's head, you know, like, I love you too, random citizen.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen so many different takes on Keanu Reeves being in there. Some people hate it, some people love it. What's your take?
Yeah, I think it's just honestly because I don't know what character they're all talking about. Like, apparently, this is a character from maybe like an older game or back when the tabletop was invented. But since I absolutely know nothing about Cyberpunk 2077 except for this game, I could care less that Keanu, like, I kind of like it because I like Keanu Reeves. It's like, I just know now that because Keanu Reeves is in this video game, that when I buy Cyberpunk 2077, because I do want to play it, it is by CD Projekt Red, who made Witcher, I am not going to kill his dog.
Yeah.
I just know that that's
a bad mistake.
I'm going to do a lot of shit in that city, and I'm going to fuck some shit up. But I am not going to kill his dog or steal his
dog. They better fucking have a dog for that character. Otherwise, like, and that dog better have some fucking nuclear-powered shield around it.
It's like the one unkillable character in the game is Keanu Reeves' dog.
Yeah. Because you know, if that happens, the world's going to end. So, you know, that can't happen. But I don't know. I've heard it's a good game, but I don't know.
Well, nobody's really been able to play it.
Obviously, But I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. But then I saw a lot of people being pissed off that they put Keanu Reeves in there. I don't know. I don't care, honestly. I mean, because it's not even him, really. It's his voice and it's his face, but it's not like he's one character in this massive open world. Like, come on, just get over it. You know, they've done that before. The main character that you play in, what was that? The Star Wars games where you have the double lightsabers and you were like this clone that Darth Vader created. That was an actual actor. Like, that was his face and everything. Like, he did the voice and like, I've seen him in movies and was like, I've seen a digital version of this guy's face. Like, was it and like, get over it. It's fine. You know, I mean, I think that's the future anyway. Eventually, we're just going to have cameos of real life actors in video games, just like movies. Like, one day you're going to like be playing some weird dystopian cyberpunk game and walk into like a doctor's office to get some sort of digital implant upgrade, and the fucking doctor's going to be Danny DeVito. You know? Just like who cares? It's kind of cool, actually. Danny
DeVito,
Jesus Christ.
You know, and now we can bring actors back to life too. Like,
no.
You know,
no. Let's
we
not
got
go
that
there.
happening too.
No. Let's not go there.
I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying it's going to happen.
No.
Like it's happening. It is.
Yeah, they tried it with fucking Tarkin. Can we stop?
Yeah.
We fucking stop.
I watched that movie. I was like, oh my god.
And young Leia, fuck off.
Well, she wasn't dead yet, but
no,
Peter Cushing died like 1992. Like he straight up got brought back to life.
Leia was fucking 60 when they brought back the 20-year-old.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
It's like no. It's fuck. I hate it.
Well, I think it depends. I think it depends on how they do it.
Well, yeah.
Like, okay, hear me out. Let's say you're playing a cyberpunk futuristic game, like Cyberpunk 2077. You walk into a nightclub as part of the storyline you're playing, and there's all these people dancing, and there's a big hologram projection on the up on the stage of like Michael Jackson or Freddie Mercury. I'd be cool with that. Didn't they
actually hologram Michael Jackson?
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm bringing it up, because they did that in real life, and it was kind of cool. If they did that in a video game, I'd be fine with it.
Okay, sure. But, first of all, we're talking movies, but, I can understand that. I can certainly accept it in Tron, because he was there, he was part of the movie, he was not being fucked over by some fucking contract that made him contractually obliged to do something. So that one, it didn't look great, but it was okay because he was all in on it. But fucking Tarkin? The guy's dead.
I mean, well, you can definitely disagree with that one kind of cameo, and I'm fine with that. You like what you like, but I'm just saying Keanu Reeves in this video game is not the first actor to be portrayed in a video game.
But I'm not talking about Keanu Reeves in that video game. I'm talking about bringing fucking actors back to life.
Yeah, but I was saying that in the context of video games. Because they're doing it in movies, I was linking that to video games. Because we have that technology, we might see some dead actors in video games in the future.
Right.
Is what I was saying.
Right. But I'm just saying, when they're dead, no, that feels like exploitation.
I think it depends.
Jesus, that was a bad hit.
Sorry. I drank my tea and it went down the wrong pipe.
I thought it was like a really bad fucking pot hit or something.
No. I just, fuck, green tea down my lungs.
Your chat spam bot's back.
Oh, again with a spam bot? Yep. Jesus Christ.
Got a new name.
New name.
XXX sex watch here. That's definitely a bot.
Like there's got to be a stream with more viewers to fucking spam. Jesus Christ.
Right.
Holy shit. What are they trying to get from that? Who clicks things in a fucking chat unless it's something you talk about in the stream anyway?
They're just trying to hit as many markets as possible to get you to go to their website. I mean,
I know,
it's a way
but
to drive traffic.
That seems like a really dumb way to do it.
It seems dumb, except for the fact that the bot's doing all the work. So what is it to the people who created it? What does it matter to them?
No, I guess
the bot's doing everything, so they might as well. It's kind of like throw everything at the wall, see what sticks, kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess.
The crypto market's kind of doing that right now. They're trying to figure out what they can attach cryptocurrency to in order to destroy, to decentralize the internet and destroy the way, people make money on the internet. And I'm kind of okay with that, to be honest with you. Like, fuck it. If I didn't have to rely on ads.
Hopefully that's not just a scam like this shit.
Well, I don't think the crypto market's going away. I think it's a new thing that people have got to get used to using and everything, but at the end of the day, it's something new to get in on the ground floor, because I don't think it's just going to go away. I think this is going to be something that's going to grow throughout the next 20, 30 years,
Sure. But there's also going to be a lot of people who lose their...
Dude, Undoomed.
Sorry?
There is literally a cryptocurrency that just hit the market last year called Tron.
I like it.
And Tron Crypto, their business model is to attach their cryptocurrency to social media in order to decentralize the need for advertisers and give creators an alternative way to make money directly connected to their consumers instead of having to rely on ads. And I like that. I really do.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
I'd love it if every single time one of my fans watched one of my videos, I got a little fraction of a cryptocurrency, you know? And it's just like it can build up over time. If you get hundreds of thousands of views, you could get like some full-blown crypto. You know, like I like that idea. I hope they succeed. And I thought about buying into Tron.
Mm-hmm.
It's only about 2 or 3 cents a crypto.
Right.
Now Bitcoin is at like $8,000 a coin, but Tron is just starting out.
Yeah, but they had like a huge fucking
drop.
Yeah,
massive. Well, they had a huge spike first. God, if I could have just bought Bitcoin early. Fuck me. That shit was like $180 a coin, and then like a year later it went up to $28,000 a coin.
Yeah.
Like,
well, there's always those stories. Like, remember that story when they looked at the Apple stock and they made a comparison. If you actually bought the first like Macintosh, right?
Yeah, early Apple.
Yeah, you bought the first Macintosh. If you would have taken that money and actually bought Apple stock instead, you would have been a billionaire.
Oh yeah, no, with inflation, with it,
Jesus,
like there are people who literally were like, yeah, whatever. It's like 1982, and they're like, yeah, whatever. I'll give this Apple company $2,000. You know, and it's like, you know, you're getting it for 80 cents a share.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward to today, that's just like $3,000 a fucking share. Jesus. God, if you bought like 100,000 shares of that shit in the 80s, you'd be a fucking multi-millionaire right now.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I just always miss these opportunities. It always happens to me, man. Like, it fucking every time. Like, I remember being in the military, and a friend of mine just got back from Iraq, so he had a buttload of money in the bank, you know, all that combat pay and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he lived 2 doors down from my dorm room. And we'd be outside on the rail smoking, and I'd talk to him. And it was about that time when all the domestic car companies needed bailing out by the government.
Right.
You remember that?
Yeah.
So Chevy and Dodge completely took the bailout money and restructured their corporations, and everybody who had stocks in them completely lost their asses. Like, it was just all that stock was worthless.
Yeah.
But Ford refused to take the bailout money and instead restructured and started just building it back up and just, you know, did their best. And my buddy bought Ford at $2.36.
Mm-hmm.
And he put like 20 grand. He was like, oh, America will never let Ford fail.
Right.
Dude, oh my God, like a year later, I ran into him. He was a staff sergeant by then. And
yeah, how about those Ford shares?
Yeah, and I was like, how about those Ford shares? And he's like, shh, just, man. And I was like, what? He's like, they'll kick me out if they know I have that much money. No. I was like, what? Like, what did you? I was like, dude, what'd you get? He was like, oh man, about like 820,000. I was like, fuck you, you know. And he told me about it, and I had thousands in the bank too, because I'm in the military. I'm making good money, you know, and I don't have very many bills. I'm living in a dorm, you know. I don't have rent or nothing, and man, I could have bought like $2,000-$3,000 worth of Ford stock. And now it shot up to like, yeah, and then it shot up to like $108 or something. And it was like, fuck. Like,
yeah.
You know, I always do that, man. Somebody will tell me about this, like, this thing, and they're like, dude, you ought to get it. It happened again a few years later. I was playing the stock market, and I had the choice between 2 companies.
Mm-hmm.
Both companies did the exact same thing. They built distribution machines for marijuana in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew Colorado was probably going to legalize.
Right.
So I thought, I'm going to get on the ground floor and buy into some of these weed companies that build like vending machines to, you know, that you can scan your weed card and then buy weed out of. And I was like, that's kind of a cool idea, right? It's a vending machine for weed.
Right.
And I personally don't smoke weed, but if it's legal in Colorado and these companies take off, I could stand to make quite a bit of money. So I went ahead and I had the choice between two companies. And instead of buying a little in both, I was going to I only had a few $100s to spend, and they were penny stocks. So I was just like, I'm just going to go all in one and take a chance. And I picked one, and I bought like 100,000 shares. Okay?
Yeah.
The one I picked completely failed and went bankrupt. The one I didn't pick went up to like $6 a share.
Oh, well, there you go.
It always happens to me.
What can you say? I mean, that's the way it is, man. That's the way it always is. I mean, who would have known what to bet in during the 80s or whatever when Apple got started? Why would you bet on Apple, right?
Right. Yeah.
They were not doing that great, and their machines were kind of lackluster and all that.
Yeah, their Apple II failed big time.
Well, it was a nice success in the beginning, for sure. It's what got them. It was what got them going. It made them a public company, and got everything going, and it certainly made them some money. But then, it sort of dragged out. There were no app updates. And then when the Mac came, it's like fucking monochrome. Really? No colors at all? All the other computers, you had like the Amiga and even the PCs had color. And like, really? A monochrome computer? What's up with that?
Yeah, they didn't do well all the way up until the 90s, actually. I mean, they brought Steve Jobs back. I mean,
yeah, that was late 90s.
Yeah, that was fucking late too. Like they were really struggling as a company until they brought Steve.
They were actually pretty much going bankrupt, and
yep.
Microsoft came in and said, like, Jesus Christ, dude, if you go bankrupt, we'll be a monopoly, and they'll fucking split us up. So here's some money. Here, take some money.
Yeah. Please keep competing with us.
Yeah. Fuck. We don't want to be split up. Jesus Christ, man.
Notice modern day tech companies aren't doing that.
No.
Every time a competitor rises up to be a competitor of YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, it's just like it's gone. Google won't sell the app on the Play Store because it's neo-Nazis, or something will happen. Like Google won't promote that website in the algorithm, so you can't even search for it. And like, dude, they are purposely just killing every competitor. Like they're pulling them out by the roots. They're like, "There's a weed, get it."
Yep. And I don't know, is someone asleep at the wheel at the DOJ?
Not really. They've been gearing up for antitrust violations, and that's been happening since like Obama was in office. So it isn't Trump. They've been gearing up for years, and that's why all these tech companies have been hiring all these antitrust lawyers. They know it's coming because they know they fucking broke the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and now it's coming. It's coming to a head. The fucking government is about to investigate all
fucking
these companies.
Get it done already. Jesus Christ.
But with companies that big, there's a lot to go through.
I know.
It takes years. It takes years and years and years. They got to go through all the records and all the programming, and they have to look at everything. It's called discovery, and it takes a long time.
Yeah, but come on, man. It'll be over by the time you get to it. Get going.
Yeah, they definitely need to hurry, because, I mean, just out of fear that there's going to be antitrust investigations this year or next year, FANG, which is an acronym for the big four, right?
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google.
Mm-hmm.
FANG lost like $127 billion market cap on the stock market. Like just out of fear of antitrust.
Whoa. Is Netflix in that group? That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, yes. Oh, dear God. You fail to recognize how wealthy Netflix is.
Well, I'm not
on social media.
No, I know. I'm not really, a stock market guy, so I don't know. It just sounds weird.
No, FANG is an acronym to, for the top four biggest tech companies in the world.
Yeah.
And Netflix is one of them because they literally went from a company that just let you rent DVDs online and send them back when you were done to fully
obviously
producing shows.
Obviously, but how do they have that and not Apple in there? Because Apple has all the money.
Go look at Apple stock and compare it to Google and Netflix and tell me what you think.
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not a stock market guy. I just know that they're always like Apple is always like number one or number two and the most valuable brand in the world, and they have more money than God in their bank account because no other company has more cash and all that shit.
Nope. That's all a flat fucking lie. They've been dropping for years. And technically, even Google doesn't have the money Amazon does. Jeff Bezos, who owns Amazon, is the richest man in the world.
Yeah. I'm sure he's number one, but I'm also pretty sure that Apple is probably number two.
Nope. Not even close.
Okay, I'm pretty sure they're fucking bigger than Netflix.
Hold on, let me look it up.
Okay, look that up because that does not make any sense to me.
All right. Oh, that's a big market cap. Jesus Christ. Okay, so on the NASDAQ, Apple is trading at $194 a share. Mm-hmm. Netflix is trading at $345 a share.
Yeah, but
with a much bigger market cap too. Jesus,
that doesn't make any sense. They're not making much money. How can they make more money? I don't get it.
What are you talking about? Everybody has Netflix. You also have to take into consideration.
Yeah, but it's just $10. Everyone has an iPhone. That's they're making fucking hundreds of dollars on an iPhone.
Undoomed, you have to also take into consideration what other companies these companies own. And Apple doesn't have as many subsidiaries as Netflix does. Netflix owns entire production companies now to do their shows and everything. Mm-hmm. Like that's they're a massive Hollywood player now. That is not something to sneer at. Mm-hmm. They're getting like big name celebrities to be in their Netflix original movies now. Like that is not something they have been growing.
Right. No, I just remember I saw the
Netflix is the world's 7th largest internet-based company.
Right, but I distinctly remember reading that there was a list just a week ago about the most valued brands in the world, and Apple was number 2 and Amazon was number 1.
Well, yeah, that's because you're talking about the brand. I mean, it is considered Apple. Don't get me wrong. Apple is still considered one of the big 4 of technology, along with Amazon, Google, and Facebook. Mm-hmm. But that's because their brand loyalty is like really high. Mm-hmm. They don't have the stock price or the market cap that Netflix does.
That's interesting. I'm not saying you're wrong. I have no idea. I just remember seeing that.
From a stock trader's perspective, Netflix is a more valuable company.
Interesting.
For a branding and marketing, Apple is bigger than them,
right?
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, like because I said, I don't have a single stock. I know I suck at that, so I don't even get involved. So that's just my perspective on it.
And again, Apple isn't doing too bad. I mean, right now they've still got a $893 billion market cap. I mean, that's really fucking good. But their 52-week highs and lows are weak as fuck. I would not invest in Apple right now. They're down what?
No, I mean, sure. After Steve Jobs died, it's not the same. I would totally. No, it's not. I would totally agree with that.
Probably never will be, to be honest with you.
No, I mean,
now that Steve's dead,
no one can come in and take charge like he could because he was the founder. Even if they found a really brilliant guy, he could never be Steve Jobs.
Yeah,
he could because he had like some sort of, like they called it, the reality distortion field. Remember that?
Yeah.
You heard that?
Oh yeah. He has that kind of just presence.
Yeah, and that wasn't just because he was charming and all that. That was also because he was the fucking founder. So people were like, "Oh yeah, this is actually the actual Steve Jobs." So even if they found a guy that was basically his clone, he could not take charge like that.
Right. No, I agree. I'm just saying that fucking a hypothesis come up with something too. Fang sounds much better than fag. I guess.
Yeah, they had to include something.
be Facebook, Amazon, Apple, and Google. Fag. they're like, who has a better market
but
price
it would be
right now?
apt. It would be apt.
It would be too. Thank you, Hypothesis. I appreciate you for that joke. That is awesome.
That is fucking perfect, man.
But yeah, God, I should have bought into Netflix too. Had I known that just some online company that rented DVDs and you could send them back would become so big in Hollywood and do massive original productions and things like that. I would and been
had you known,
had I known, I would have bought into Netflix.
Yeah, had everyone known that's like,
had everybody known. Yeah, hindsight's always 20/20.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
but I still don't see.
I kind of saw it though.
I still don't understand.
On the wall?
No. But I still don't see how they can have that much money. Because, sure, everyone pays them $10 a month or whatever, but that's not much.
Well, one, it's 15 now.
Okay.
They went up.
But their productions are fucking expensive as hell.
Yes, but some people also pay for their ability to get DVDs in the mail still too. That's another $15. That's $30 a month. And then they have the worldwide. I mean, do you know how many people are giving them $10 a month? I mean, it's worldwide, bro. Like, it's hundreds of millions of people are giving them $15 a month. Jesus Christ, just that alone is like billions of dollars.
Sure, but then every fucking episode costs $10 million of whatever show they're making. And they're making shitloads
of... They get massive tax breaks if they film in, like, Georgia or they film in, like, Romania or... like, dude, go look at where, like, Witcher is being filmed and their original series Witcher coming out. And it's like, they're not filming in an expensive place. They're not. Amazon's doing the same thing. They're getting all kinds of tax breaks.
Of course they are. I mean, that's corruption for you right there.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia gives massive tax breaks just to have people come film there.
Yeah. That's that really rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, but Netflix also has a shit ton of, like, Netflix named subsidiaries that also make them tons of money. They've got Netflix services in Germany. They've got Netflix CS, Netflix Global Holdings, Netflix Entertainment Brazil, Netflix Streaming Services International, Netflix Luxembourg, Netflix Global, Netflix Service UK Limited. It's just like, it is a global technological company.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very big. It's a very big thing.
Yeah, I get it. It's just, I guess it's hard to figure out that small amount of money makes it so big, but I guess that's how taxes works, right? So whatever.
Well, part of it's that too, and another part of it is, global markets and investments too. I mean, Netflix probably turns around, takes a bunch of their profits and invests in other things and just makes them even more money. And, they all collude together, right? Like,
of course,
of course, there's that too, and, I don't know, man, it's just, just give me like a fraction of what they make every month and I'd be good the rest of my life. Like, just, I would be good the rest of my life,
Yeah. I guess that's
Brian Jones puts in the chat, Netflix makes an estimated $1.8 billion a month.
Yeah, but that's not that much.
What?
That's not really much at all.
Per month.
Right.
Think of it like this. Yes, everybody has an iPhone, but the iPhone only comes out once every year. So Apple gets a bunch of money and then it kind of trickles down and does nothing. iTunes, I think, is even like going out the window. Nobody's using it anymore now that Pandora and Spotify are there, competing. Like, Apple doesn't have that. Like, people are buying computers and stuff, don't get me wrong, but I guarantee you they see like spikes in their profits, whereas Netflix, that's like steady every month.
I know. No. I get that. It's just it just sounds like it's not that much much for a huge company. Like, $1.8 billion a month? That sounds like nothing.
$1.8 billion a month to host television shows that they didn't even make. and a few television shows and movies that they did make. Like, their job is to literally, like, make some really entertaining stuff now and again, and just host shit that they didn't even make. Like it's like, yeah, you can binge watch NCIS. Go to my like. They don't even have to work that hard. At least Apple makes a product.
I guess I don't know how expensive their shows are, but I mean, it seems like most shows are costing several millions of dollars per episode nowadays, and they are producing a shitload of content. So I don't know.
But if you think about it, if a 10 episode series that Netflix picked up costs $40-50 million to make the entire series, that is literally nothing out of 1 month of profit.
Yeah, but
that is nothing out of that 1.8 billion.
No. Yeah, but sure, I don't think they can get it for that low though. But I think it's more like 100 million. But
well, it depends on the show. I'm thinking like shows like Lucifer that they just picked up.
Mm-hmm.
That show is maybe 1-2 million an episode, and it ran for 10 episodes.
Okay, but I'm talking about more like flagship shows and shit like that.
Even then, you'd be surprised. Like Daredevil was not that expensive to make. Neither was Punisher. I mean, probably just upwards of 60, maybe 80 million for the entire season.
Right.
Like I said, that's like not even a dent out of their 1.8 million.
My point is that's just 1 hour a month. They need an hour for every day, every month.
Yeah, but they don't make all the shows. Some of them they're just hosting other people's shows.
Right.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. Obviously, they're making shit tons of money. It's just a weird equation to sort of figure out. But I suppose they're vacuum cleaning the market for old TV series that they can get for cheap and just fill out there because they need to have content.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Their bigger show, like Witcher coming out, has like high-end actors in it, like Henry Cavill, who played Superman. Like that's and because it's a fantasy setting, probably a lot of graphics. It's probably up there along the same budget as like Game of Thrones. Probably a little high budget, especially since it has fantasy creatures in it, dragons and griffins and things like that.
Right.
So yeah, that one's going to be one of their high ends. But they're relying on that to be incredibly popular and influential in the movie marketplace. I think that they're willing to spend money on possible influence and more people coming over buying Netflix for the first time and stuff. And take a chance on a show like that because most of their productions on their low budget end, some of their originals are just dramas. They're just kind of set in a small town or something like that. They're not expensive to make shows. They're expensive for people like you and me. I personally don't have $8 to $10 million. Personally, I don't have that much. But I mean, could you imagine making like a really popular show for only about $8 to $10 million for the entire season?
No, that'd be impossible. That'd be impossible. Impossible.
It's not. I mean, that's why Netflix originals sometimes don't have actors that you've ever heard of. They're only getting paid, like $1 million to do the whole season. Like they do stuff like that too. Go look at their like LGBT originals and shit like that. Like nobody's watching that shit, but they do it anyway. I mean...
Yeah, they need to have stuff to just sort of flood there so there's always content because they can never run up to that point where people say, well, I've watched everything. That would be like a disaster. So they need to have an endless amount of content. Know what I mean?
Yep.
So, but I guess they just vacuum clean everything and they just get all the series that they probably like. Isn't Friends one of their most watched series?
Oh yeah, they have like every episode of like all those really popular shows.
Yeah, like those
from the
90s shows, Friends. Like they probably bought that for $5 and like, yeah, okay, here we go, and that's their most watched series ever. Like, okay, well, now I can see you're making money on Friends. That makes sense.
But could you imagine that, though? Like, even though they are making these shows, the new Netflix originals are like movies and shows. They come out like, they don't come out like, there's not a new one every month. People are still kind of waiting on things, right? Could you imagine that? Like, you could be like working at Netflix, you're one of the top guys, and somebody comes in and be like, okay, we just finished the show. We came in under budget, only going to cost $108 million for this entire season. Okay, well, that How much money do we have left over? Oh, we still have like 1.7 billion in profits. Like fuck off. Like it's just like they make money. Okay, I'm sorry. Like
Sure, but it's not one. They're not doing one show a month.
They're not even doing that, dude. Like seriously,
Really?
there's only like 3 or 4 originals coming out this entire year, Witcher being one of them. I mean,
Really?
that I know of anyway. I
No,
think Castlevania's.
I have no
think
idea.
we're
I mean,
getting season 3
I
of
don't even
Castlevania.
I don't even have Netflix, so I don't
We're
know.
definitely getting season 3 of Stranger Things this year too, right? I mean, that's another big one that's hitting this year. But other than that, all the Marvels are done. Jessica Jones comes out this year, but that was paid for last year. I mean,
Mhm.
that's been in the works now, and that's canceled already because all the Marvels are canceled.
Mhm.
Disney wants their shit back. Um, you know, like I'm
Right.
sorry, they're not putting out that much, honestly, original wise. Most people buy Netflix because they are constantly cycling through movies that have already been made,
Right. Right.
and they didn't have to pay for any of that. They just have to pay for the rights to it. And it's like, okay, yeah, they're just providing a service. They're the most popular streaming service on the internet next to YouTube.
Yep. Yep. Well, probably more popular than YouTube. Who pays for YouTube streaming?
That's a that's an interesting. I'd like to see the analytics of how many people pay for YouTube Premium for $10 a month.
Yeah, I have no idea, but I can't
Just watching it
imagine.
for free.
I can't imagine that it's a whole lot of people, right?
It's probably higher than you think, but
Yeah, of course, but
yeah, but
I
it's
don't.
probably
It's probably nowhere near Netflix.
no.
I mean, what the
I
hell?
wouldn't think so.
What the hell?
YouTube often.
What the hell do they
operates at a
do?
loss.
What the hell do they do? They've
Well,
had.
they tried to be Netflix, didn't they? They tried to. Do
Yeah,
some
they
original
had
shows.
those shows and
Cobra
that
Kai, yeah.
the
yeah.
video, whatever that thing with Logan Paul was. I never saw
Most
it.
people pay for YouTube Premium to get no ads and that ability to like turn your phone off while a video is playing and it'll keep playing the audio.
Right.
Like you can't get that unless you have Premium.
Hmm.
So if you're like if you're listening to a video on YouTube, you have to keep the screen up. Like it burns through your battery
Yeah.
pretty hard.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That is a bad thing.
Every time you tab out and back in, it reminds you that you could have that feature.
Oh
Just
yeah,
give them
God,
some money.
God, that's so fucking annoying. Try
Yeah.
it now for free. Get the fuck out of here.
Like, just give me my video.
Yeah, I mean, it really annoys you when companies do that. They try to charge you for something that costs them nothing. I don't mind paying for shit that you pay for creating. But when you just charge me for something that you can just turn on, like you press a key on, and you're going to charge me $10 a month for you pressing that on key, no,
Right.
that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't like that either. It's kind of the same with video games and like loot boxes and loot crates and
Mhm.
like pay $10 or $15 or sometimes even upwards of $20 just to get some like new clothes for your character to wear in the video game. And it's like fuck you.
Right.
I should just
What
be in the
annoys me is
video
when
game.
they give you the box and they're like, you gotta buy the key.
Yep. Now you got to learn how to turn the key. Pay $6.99 to learn how to turn the key.
Yeah.
I think it's PUBG that I'm sitting with all these boxes that I earned and I can't open them because you gotta go buy the keys.
And I think that all comes from like the centralization of digital technology. It's like all the very few handful of companies basically control it all. And because of that, they can charge what they want. They can put up as many paywalls as they want, and people will continue to pay it no matter how much they bitch. And I think that decentralizing that shit is the only way to stop it. And that is to
You need
get
fucking
behind-
more competitions. What you need.
Yeah, they get behind promoting competition, get behind like an internet bill of rights, get behind supporting independent content creators, so on and so forth. I mean, like, and definitely vote with your wallets. If there's some video game out there that you really want to play, but there's like 300 fucking paywalls, don't
Yeah,
buy it.
fuck it.
I know you
Fuck
really
that
want to
shit.
pay it. I know you really want to play it, but don't buy it.
No, there's a limit to what you want to pay for something.
Yeah. I really do miss the days when I wanted a game, I'd just go to the store and buy the cartridge or the disc, and I
Right.
got the whole game.
Right. Right.
Isn't that mind blowing? I got the whole fucking
You
game.
got the whole fucking thing forever. And you could play it forever. They could never just come out and say, no, that's racist, so we're pulling it. No, you had your fucking disc. That was nice.
Yep, those were the good old days, weren't they?
Yeah. I guess I guess we should probably round off and
oh yeah, it's been 2 hours, hasn't it?
Yeah. So we should probably get to the end of this, and I'll upload the new video, and we'll continue on your channel. How's that sound?
Yeah, just give me a little bit of a break. I gotta go take a piss and everything.
Of course, it'll take me a little while to upload it and get all the social media links up and all that. So it'll probably take me 15 minutes at least.
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah. So everyone's good with that. How about you, Discordia?
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you come out with.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Hopefully people will like it. So yeah, we'll round off, and we will see you back at Undoomed. Magog's channel. What was it? Magog of Morscar live streams, right?
Yep.
Put the thing in the link.
Yep, will do.
There you go. There you go. So the link is in the chat. All right. Yes. All right. So we will see you at that channel in a little while. And before that, I will upload my video. So thank you very much for tuning in. And thank you very much for the support. And I will see you in a little while. And of course, after I've talked to Magog and Discordia on his channel, I'll come to the Discord channel and I'll talk to you there. So take care. Say bye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.